Almost every American knows of the tragic day President Kennedy was assassinated. Many often wonder what would have happened if Kennedy was never shot. What if the bullets missed?
2 shots were fired. The first hitting Texas Governor John Connally, the second grazing JFK's shoulder, leaving the crowd in panic and disarray. As the president's car speeds off to safety, a third shot hits a police officer trying to calm the crowd.
Post-assassination attempt, civilians search through the town on a rampage searching for the suspect. They find Lee Harvey Oswald in a nearby movie theater and take him into custody.
Lee Harvey Oswald is later killed while in custody by a mobster named Jack Ruby, who believed he was protecting the president. This backfires because police will never know why Oswald tried to kill the president, or if he did in the first place.
However, some people believe that it was not Lee Harvey Oswald who killed him.
I can't believe the government tried to kill the president.
What?
After the incident, the president returns home to the White House. From there, with one of the largest press and civilian turnouts in history, he addresses the attack on him and his wife, broadcasting this speech for all Americans at home to watch. He then goes over his new policies put into place for the protection of potential future attacks on him, future presidents, and other members of the government.
JFK is later elected for a second term in office and is seen as a hero by all for surviving such a vicious attack on him. He wins by a landslide, 486 to 52 electoral votes, and 43,129,040 popular votes to 27,175,754 votes, winning by 61.1%. After he is re-elected, he proceeds to remove LBJ from his position due to his involvement in the corrupted activities he and Bobby Baker were involved in. Shortly after JFK is elected, he removes the United States from the Vietnam War. The North takes over South Vietnam, and no more advisors are sent to Vietnam.
However, many Americans were still not happy with this outcome and got upset that America left Vietnam. They blamed America for the takeover of the South and were upset that America did not end communism in Vietnam. Due to Americans leaving the Vietnam War early, there was a lot more money for spending. Because of this, Americans were able to reach the moon earlier, around 1966, and get ahead of the Soviets. Later, JFK reaches out to the Soviets and offers to take them to space as a show of power, helping to end Cold War tensions sooner. JFK once more tries to propose the Civil Rights Bill, but once more it does not go any further and does not pass. This causes more social unrest and race riots begin. Many people are mad that JFK did not help with the civil rights as much as he could have during his presidency. However, JFK's younger brother, Robert, or better known as Bobby Kennedy, sees the importance of racial justice and how crucial it is to winning. He sees that this is not something that is going to go away and uses it as the basis while he runs for president.
He also wins, continuing the Kennedy dynasty. On the night of June 6, 1968 in California, after winning the California primary, RFK is not assassinated due to JFK's involvement of the protection of presidential candidates and the Secret Service Protection Program. With more frequent searches of civilians, the man who planned to kill him was caught and arrested. This once more brings up the question of whether or not there should be gun control laws implemented.
During RFK's presidency, he is the one to fully enact the Civil Rights Bill. However, shortly after he is elected president, Martin Luther King Jr. is assassinated. This causes civil unrest throughout cities. The public begins to call out the government for protecting its white officials only and not protecting their politically important black figures. This brings back up the debate on gun control. This later leads to better gun control laws throughout all of the United States. After 3 large examples of political figures being threatened, there are background checks, restrictions on assault weapons, and more protection put on gun purchases.
However, since Nixon, LBJ, and Watergate are never a thing, there are less protests over Vietnam because the press is more afraid to publicly attack the president. However, the president himself is left alone because the press begins to question them after they leave office, finding workarounds to get the dirt on them. The press does begin to question JFK after he leaves office about his relationship with Marilyn Monroe, and rumors do begin to circulate from members of the White House about his infidelity.
With JFK not being assassinated, many things are accomplished early, like the moon landing, withdrawal from Vietnam, the Cold War ending sooner, and more protection put in place for political figures. However, there are some negatives to this. Without LBJ taking office, the civil rights take longer to be passed through government and cause even more unrest.
Since we did not have Nixon or LBJ as presidents, we would never have to deal with Watergate or anti-war protests from Vietnam. RFK becoming president instead of LBJ would help to push the United States politically forward more after JFK with things like more gun control laws. This is what would have happened if JFK's bullets had missed.